This is She Goes Beyond, and I'm your host, Victoria Fregis. Here we're dedicated to changing the status quo and building a powerful community of women who can do it all. Who says you only have to be one thing? So grab your rod or your bow and tune in to the stories of women who love the same things that you do. You never know, you might just meet your next best friend. If this podcast is something you listen to weekly or you've loved an episode or two, I would be so grateful if you shared it with a girlfriend, posted it to your socials, or honestly, just head over to Spotify to rate it. I appreciate you so much for being here. Every hunt asks something different of you. Patience, discipline, preparation. The one thing you should never have to question is your gear. That's why I trust Dialed Archery. Designed with intention, built in America, proven in the field. Because when months of preparation come down to a single opportunity, confidence should come naturally. Put in the work, trust your setup, hunt dialed. This episode of She Goes Beyond is brought to you by Painted Pine Nails. Premium handcrafted press-on nails inspired by the outdoors and designed to last. Because your nails should be as tough as your adventures. Luxurious, rugged, real, just like you. Painted Pine Nails. Link in the description to get yours today. If you've ever dreamed of owning the perfect hunting property or wondered what separates average ground from truly great whitetail ground, you're going to love today's conversation. I'm joined by bowhunter and Midwest Land Group agent Jenn Yarbrough to talk everything from buying land, selling land, to bowhunting mature Midwest bucks. Please welcome Jenn.
Yeah, I actually had 2 house showings earlier today. I was like, listen, I have to be done by 3 because I have an hour drive home and I gotta make this happen. So like I just got home like literally 7 minutes ago.
Oh my gosh, you're a rock star.
Yeah.
Thank you for rushing and hopefully driving safe, but getting home.
No, it was fine. I just scheduled my day accordingly. So.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, do you like to be called Jennifer or Jenn or...
I always say Jenn. It's just less syllables, less to say.
I didn't want to roll with it and you be like, that's not what I prefer to be called.
Well, Jenn's fine. That's usually just what I go by, but it doesn't matter.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Jenn, why don't you give us the rundown, introduce yourself, let us know where you live, if that's okay with you, kind of what you do for a living, and then anything else that's pertinent to your life.
Oh, man. I feel like I've lived a lot of different lives. I'm 37. I live in Northeast Kansas. I'm a mom. I have a 5-year-old. I've been married. This year will be 15 years. Did not grow up hunting at all. I learned to hunt in 2010. My husband, he was my boyfriend at the time, taught me everything. And then, of course, I learned quickly and I learned to love it quickly and kind of took on a whole persona of my own with it. I grew up in the mountains in the Sierra Nevadas, really small town, snowboarding, mountain biking, all the mountain things you could do. I used to go to the beach too. I went to college in San Diego, but I don't know, I love the beach, but I don't know. The Midwest was calling and I came and I loved it and I stayed. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, like I said, we live in Northeast Kansas. We did spend, my husband's from Southern Missouri, so I like to say that's where I'm from because I spent a decade there. He spent his whole life there. But we just moved to Kansas in 2020, which was a great year to move, let me tell you. And have a baby. It's a great year to have a baby.
Very eventful.
Yes, it was.
To say the least. Where'd you go to school in San Diego?
I went to San Diego State University.
Okay.
Yes, go Aztecs.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was great. I loved college down there. I was going to go to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. I wanted to go the ag business route. Cal Poly is just one of the best schools in the nation for ag business, especially in California. But I had taken a marketing class at the junior college there in San Luis Obispo at Cuesta, and I fell in love with marketing. And so I kind of still kind of went the business route, but I went the marketing route,
Yeah.
and San Diego State had a better program for that. And so that's how I ended up in San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Love it. I
yeah.
love San Diego. I think it's beautiful, but once again, I would definitely choose the Midwest to live here full time. Yeah.
It's much you can breathe here.
Yeah.
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 Everybody waves with all five fingers here.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so true.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna dive into your work. So you work
Yeah.
for Midwest Land Group, which is known for having agents who are serious outdoorsmen. How does that culture shape how you view land differently than like a traditional realtor?
Oh man. Well, I get asked all the time if I sell houses, and the answer is yes. It's the same real estate license.
Hmm.
There's nothing different there. However, what I do give a preface to say is like, anyone can sell houses, not everybody can sell land.
Mm.
You have to know about land. You have to know how to read the terrain. You have to drive a four-wheel drive. I mean, you you have to understand you're probably going to get ticks on you. Like you have to pack a cooler because somebody might have an issue like and had need some water or like it's just different showing land. The other part is it's different people that want
Hmm.
land, and those are definitely my people.
Hmm.
It's kind of funny how I got into it. I used to work for USDA and I did farm loans. So I was on the lending side of ag sales for a long time. And then when I moved to Kansas, my work changed a little bit. I still work for USDA, but I when we moved to Kansas, we knew we wanted a property out in the country so that we could hunt the beautiful Kansas whitetails.
Hmm.
We were where we wanted to be, so we actually bought a farm before we found a place to live, which I think is hilarious. But and because I was pregnant too, so I'm like, oh, let's prioritize them deer. We'll find a place to live later. We bought a farm. It was a quarter, so it was 160 acres, quarter section, and developed it a little. I think we put in like two food plots and a couple of box blinds. And we actually hunted it for a couple of months. And then we got approached by a guy out of Nebraska that wanted to buy it. And we're like, everything was for sale for the right price,
Yes.
but so I tell you that I worked for USDA, did farm loans for a while to kind of preface. I've dealt with real estate agents for a very long time,
Yeah.
like all kinds of them in my lending side of work. And I was never really impressed with real estate agents in general. And I don't want to like put a blanket over everybody, but like I just had a bad taste in my mouth about real estate agents. And I think
Yeah.
the general public has that as well. But anyways, back to my story. So the agent that approached us with this gentleman that wanted to buy the property was from Midwest Land Group, and I was blown away with his professionalism. He was on top of things. He spelled everything right. He could do math. Like he communicated well. Because yeah, we ended up selling our farm to him. Well, we found out real quick what a 1031 exchange was because we needed to find some place to buy quickly, so that we didn't have to pay capital gains. So we ended up buying another farm with this agent, the one that brought the buyer to our first farm. And he made it so easy, like explained to us what a 1031 was, walked us through it. We bought another farm and put in a food plot and did all the things that we actually found the largest deadhead we have ever found on this farm. So we were pumped about it. We were so excited to hunt it the next year. Well, it was like that summer, and got approached by another guy. He's like,
What?
"Hey, my wife wants to know if you guys would be willing to sell this farm because it was on blacktop. It was 160 acres on blacktop, and which is kind of rare in Kansas. We're like, well, it is kind of far from like where we were, and we're not really in love with this area, but we really do want to hunt this place. But we also had some issues. As soon as we bought that farm, the neighbor like called the county commission about a fence, and we're like, dude, we just bought this property, like I don't even know anything about this fence, and he like wanted us to fix it, and like we're like, bro, I don't know, just bad juju with a neighbor, so
Yeah.
we're like, sell it, like I don't care. Anyways, this guy that approached us actually had a farm, I don't know, 45 minutes away that he was going to sell in order to buy this place. So we kind of, I mean, we bought his farm and he bought our farm. And like, we just, I mean, we bought and sold.
Yeah.
So we 1031'd it, but like the price that he gave us on his farm was, I mean, we paid his price, what he asked us, which was a lot lower than we knew we could turn. We turned around and sold that place in one day. We owned that farm for one day, and he was not very happy with us about doing that because we made a bunch of money off of it. We're like, bro, like you sold it to us, you named your price, like
Yeah.
how's that our fault? Anyways, but by that time we knew what area we wanted to be back in, and it was kind of closer to where our first farm was. And we ended up finding and buying the farm that we have now, and we
Mhm.
built a house and everything on it. But I tell you all of that because throughout that entire process we used a Midwest Land Group agent. His name's Trent Siegel, and you might recognize his name. He's a Heartland bowhunter guy. So much fun. We enjoyed like becoming little land barons that whole time. I mean, through that whole process, I had had a baby, and like I was like in another dimension, and he just made the entire process so seamless, so easy, not stressful at all. Got us exactly what we were looking for. Like he blew me away with all of my lending experience on what a real estate agent is supposed to do. And fast forward to after Trump got into office and Doge became a thing, I was nervous about getting doged, losing my job because I worked for the federal government. So did my husband. We're like, they're shrinking the size of the federal government. Can we afford to both maybe lose our jobs if Elon's having a bad day and decides to just, cut it? So, my husband Dusty's got more years in invested in the government. He's got military service and everything. So I changed my career and I was like, I know exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
I was like, I love being outside. The company I know, like we were customers of the company for a lot of years and like I loved it. And I was like, there is nobody more professional, in my opinion, than Midwest Land Group when it comes to the things that I'm passionate about, which is being a landowner and deer hunting, just enjoying outside. The other thing is, I do have a little bit of a social media presence, not a huge one, but I don't know, just throughout the years, I've had people tell me, like, oh, it must be nice to shoot a deer on your own property. And I'm like, well, yeah, it is nice.
Hmm.
Not gonna lie. I was like, however, it would be a lot cheaper to buy a hunt at an outfitter. Really. I
Yeah.
mean, we have just under 200 acres out here, and that's not cheap. Go pay for a $5,000 deer hunt. That would be cheaper. Like, that might cover my property taxes. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So, it's like, I don't know. Like, in my head, I was like, okay, land ownership is actually a lot more attainable than people think. It might come down to a few less Amazon boxes every month.
Mm.
Some people spend a small fortune on Amazon or, groceries or whatever, and they just don't budget out correctly in a way that they can afford a land payment. Like it's a lot more affordable than people think.
Hmm.
So that's one of my passions in life is to help people obtain that if that's what they want. So
Hmm.
that was another big motivator to get into this business.
Okay, do you feel like being both a land agent and a bow hunter gives you advantage in both worlds? And how would you say that?
I think it's just more experience. I
Yeah.
mean, the more properties you see, the more you have to use your brain to figure out how to hunt it if
Yeah.
that's the type property you're on. I mean, the only thing I can compare that to is, when the few farms that my husband and I have owned, every single one of them was very different. They were all in different counties. It's hard to say, oh, I'm going to buy 80 acres and I'm going to kill a giant deer on it every year. It's like, not every 80 acres is going to carry a giant deer on
Right.
it. I mean, is it wooded? Is there water? Is it a travel corridor? Is it a bedding area? Is it pasture? I mean, you would be surprised at the giant deer that live where there are no trees. Like, it's insane the amount of deer that actually live where there's no trees. So, like, I don't know. I think it's just, like I said, it goes back to experience. It doesn't
Hmm.
really mean I have an unfair advantage, I would say, but you just learn something new on every property that you go into, like what a good funnel is, or I don't know, if you're surrounded by cornfields, maybe your food plot should have some soybeans in it, or wheat, or something different,
Hmm.
different food source. But like I said, that just kind of comes back to just being educated and learning how to read things. But
Hmm.
I learn
Yeah.
something new every time I go on a new property.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The experience, like you said, you are able to be put in situations where you can learn the land and understand it better. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Did you go into realty knowing what you know about land, or do you feel that you continued to learn, obviously, as you showed more properties?
Oh man. Like I said, I learn something new every day about property. I mean, even just talking to the landowners themselves, like I mean, there's little nuggets of information hidden everywhere if you're willing to listen for it. Like some properties, I would look at it and be like, oh my gosh, like there has got to be a giant deer here. And some people are like, oh, I've been hunting it for 20 years, never seen anything. I'm like, well, what do you do for scent control? How do you access the property? Do you play the wind? Do you play the weather? Do you look at the moon phase? Like, how do you hunt this property? Because everybody hunts different. Like, that's just a fact. And people will get into knockdown dragouts about proper hunting technique. And it's like, dude, just do what makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even want to get into the crossbow compound trad bow thing.
No,
Like,
we won't talk about that here.
no, we don't want to talk about that here. Like it's just do what makes sense to you.
Yeah.
As long as it's legal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But I think that people are at a very big disadvantage to themselves if they're not open to listening to people and their experience, because you never know what you're gonna learn.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. It
Okay,
does.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And I do think, like you said, like someone might say that it's a bad property, and you might look at it and be like, well, it looks pretty good on paper. And then asking those questions of like, how do you enter the property? What is your scent control? All those different things, like those all play into it. So if you're a hunter and you're not focusing on all of those aspects, you're, I mean, you could be doing it completely wrong. And there could be a deer in there, but they're leaving because they know you're there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they might be walking right through their bedding area. It's
Right.
like, I mean, big deer don't get big by being stupid.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, from everything you're seeing at Midwest Land Group right now, what's happening in the Midwest with the whitetail properties? Are we in a buyer's market, a seller's market, or good luck finding something kind of market?
Oh, so recreational properties, or I'll just call them a rec property, are in a completely different category than when you're saying buyer's market, seller's market. Like people will hear that all the time. A lot of times that is pertaining to homes. If there's home on acreage, that is home sites. When it comes to rec properties, it's a seasonal thing.
Mm,
Uh, that it's summertime, so it's planting food plots, it's trimming trees back, it's planning season, planning, not planting. but it could be planting season, for your food plots, whatever it is that you're decide to plant. So there's different buyers out there for rec properties. There's people that want a turnkey place. They want to buy a place that already has food plots, already has box blinds, already has shooting lanes, already like turnkey, ready to go. They don't have to do anything.
Hmm.
Then there's buyers like myself and my husband that will buy a cedar tree farm that is rough. And we want to put in the work ourselves,
Yeah.
which means you got to buy the farm a lot earlier than opening day.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, and then there's out of state people. Everybody wants to hunt Kansas, but in Kansas, you have to own at least 80 acres in order to get a landowner tag, an out of state landowner tag. Um, so, there's that buyer pool too, and they're looking for 80 acres, not 78 acres, 80 acres. Um, and some of them want turnkey, but a lot of them, surprisingly, want to put in the work.
Mm.
They live and die for whitetail. So, that means hauling a tractor up here, hauling a brush hog, like hauling those other things. Like I said, it's with rec properties, it's definitely seasonal. You don't typically see a whole lot of rec properties for sale in the fall and winter. And I say fall, I mean late fall. I'm talking like November, December,
Hmm.
January. It's usually after hunting season. They're like, all right, let's offload this place. Let's get something new. That's the landowners. And then, then they hit the market like spring, summer. And then that's kind of where we're at right now. People are looking for a new hunting property right now. And yeah, things are getting bought up pretty quick because people are excited about deer hunting, and
Yeah.
it's only going to get more and more like that up until opening season.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so it's a seasonal thing with rec properties, and I mean, there's always going to be properties up for sale year round, but
Hmm.
the grand majority, that's how it is for rec properties. Yeah.
Yeah. What types of properties are getting like snatched up instantly right now? Are you seeing like a lot of bigger acreage, just that 80 mark?
Yeah, I mean, for rec properties, the 80 mark will go pretty quickly because of the out of state thing. I'm seeing a lot of homes on 10 acres go like that. I mean, there's a potential to kill a giant deer on 10
Yeah. Oh,
acres
yeah.
if you're in the right spot. I mean, and plus it's a price point thing, with interest rates the way that they are, it's expensive to have a dang $2,000 payment on something. I mean, it's expensive.
Hmm.
So I don't know, man. I have a good mixture of investor type people, out of state people, and then people that are looking for that house on 10 acres where they can possibly hunt. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
There's a mixture of it all,
Yeah.
really.
What is something that you've noticed in land buying that might surprise a hunter from your perspective as a land seller, I guess?
Yeah, that might surprise a hunter. There's a lot of stuff that gets sold off market.
Yeah.
uh, People are funny, and like there's different patches, areas of people that like certain counties where things just don't hit the market. It's all private sale stuff.
Uh-huh.
From a seller's point of view, um, I mean, people probably know this and maybe they don't. I don't know. But from a seller's point of view, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your neighbor that buys your property. 9 times out of 10, it is. And maybe I shouldn't be sharing that because I might be without a job if I say that, but that's a fact.
Yeah.
And that's one of my jobs is I connect the sellers with buyers. Like that's what I do.
Hmm.
Um, from a buyer's point of view, something that might surprise them. There's all kinds of things so for me, a lot of these things are just something I run into every day, but the general public might not know. So I'm not sure what the answer might be to
Yeah.
that. Um, Mm-mm. I would go back to what I kind of opened it with. The dream of land ownership is a lot more attainable than you might think.
Mm.
That's probably what I would go with to answer that.
I think too, like you said earlier, everything is for sale at the right price.
At
So
the right price.
if you're willing to pay it, knock on that door, see what they've got to say.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to these, people that take advantage of Onyx and knock on doors for turkey hunting. Like, you never know if that old
No.
lady down the street is like, it's for sale, you
Yeah,
know? You don't know unless you ask.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Okay, when you walk a property as an agent, what are the first three things, or four, or five, or two, whatever makes sense, that you look at that buyers might miss when they're looking for a hunting property? Like someone comes to you, they're like, "Oh, I want to hunt. I want this 100 acres or whatever it is." What are like the first three things that you're catching on this property that like make it a good property for hunting that someone might not like might someone might overlook?
potential.
Mm.
You know, like I said, a lot of people think that they need something that already has established food plots or it already has a hunting blind or already has trails. Like, I think potential. A lot of people don't. I don't want to say I'm an expert on deer hunting because I am not an expert on deer hunting, but I can tell you just from owning a few different farms. For example, on my farm, it's kind of shaped funny. It's not a square or a rectangle. There is a lane that goes pretty much through my whole farm. And you would think that this lane, the wildlife would use it because it's a path of least resistance. That would make sense to use it. Not the case.
Mm.
I see animal footprints going across it, but there's just maybe short, like 10-foot sections that they might use of the lane. So it's like that right there tells me, okay, I mean, and this lane wasn't cut for wildlife, it was cut to get to the back of the property, but you might see a piece of property and see this lane like, oh, the deers, we got to set up a tree setup right on this lane because they're going to use it. Not always the case.
Mm.
Not always the case. I mean, look at the topography. Look at the south facing slopes. Look at the water source. Which way is the wind normally coming and how does that play into, how you're going to hunt it? Like, just because a property already has box blinds doesn't mean they're in the right spot,
Mm-hmm.
to maximize your opportunity. Same thing with food plots. Like, why plant a corn food plot if you're got 200 acres of corn planted around you? What's going to draw the deer to that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I wouldn't go to that. I'd go to the 200-acre field and go hide in the middle of it where I'm safe. I'm
Right.
just thinking like a deer on that one. But yeah, I would say potential. Like I said, we bought our farm. It was a mess.
Yeah.
I would say that is the biggest thing that people overlook is potential. They they see a property that's rough and they're like, "Oh man," but I look at it as potential. Like, hey, if this is rough, that means nobody's taken care of it in a long
Mm-hmm.
time, and which means you could probably talk the price down, which is my job. But the other thing is you can make it whatever you want. You
Right.
can put a bedding area wherever you want. You can put a food plot wherever you want. I mean, I look at it as a canvas. You can do whatever you want with. If something's turnkey, that's all fine and good, but you're kind of relying on the previous owner's knowledge or lack thereof
Mm-hmm.
on the ability of it?
Yeah.
So, like I said, potential is probably the biggest thing I look at on a
Yeah.
property.
Yeah. That makes
Yeah,
really good sense. Really
yeah.
good sense. I was thinking that the entire time you were talking to like a turnkey one, you're relying on what they like like you said, what they did or what they didn't do for research and monitoring the movement on their property and just place something somewhere. Like you may not even, you may have better luck somewhere else. So it probably would be better to have that piece that hasn't been touched.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing I would look at is the neighbors. I mean, it doesn't matter where you live, you're always going to have a neighbor,
Hmm.
unless you're up against a conservation area, and that's definitely a unicorn property to have. But
Yeah. That's actually
but even,
that's one of my questions for you too, is
yeah,
how important is neighboring pressure? And then how do you even assess that as a buyer?
yeah, it's huge. I don't care what people say. If somebody has a 200 inch deer on their property, 10 people know about it. I
Hmm.
don't care if you haven't shared your picture with anybody, 10
Yeah.
people know about it. Um, that's just the facts. I mean, you can't keep a deer on your property if unless you have a high fence. um, but I mean, I can say I can only speak from my experience, right? So my property, I have pressure on like three sides of my property. I wouldn't say it's high pressure. Only one of them is a bow hunter,
Mm.
but everybody else rifle hunts. So those are all like, and I can't say any of them hunt my fence line, but pretty dang close. Um, the fact is, everybody knows our farm in this area because of all the dang cedar trees. Oh, cedar farm, it holds deer. So let's go
Yeah.
hunt that property line.
Yeah.
Not every year. So in Kansas, rifle season, thank goodness, is not at the rut. It's after the rut. It's at the beginning of December, which is awesome. When I lived in southern Missouri, it was just a bloodbath in the middle of September or November. Just it's crazy in
Hmm.
Missouri, but in Kansas, so it always blows my mind. Like the opening weekend of rifle season, there's just coincidentally all kinds of trucks cruising our roads with their windows down, just going extra slow next to our farm. It's just like, golly, like just makes your eye twitch
Hmm.
a little bit, but you can't control that.
Right, you can't.
There's zero control, and it always goes back to these are not my deer.
Right.
Period. They're not. We spend thousands of dollars every year for deer hunting, with food plots, farm equipment, corn, feeders, trail camera subscriptions, like, I mean, property taxes, all the things. Like, it adds up a lot. We
Oh yeah.
spend a ton of money for deer hunting. So it's hard to not kind of take some ownership of the deer that are on your property, especially one that you've been watching for multiple years.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, it's not my deer.
Yeah.
Um, so you don't know a lot of that stuff until you own a property. Um, as an agent, one thing, let's just say it's my listing. One thing that I always ask my landowner sellers is about the neighbors. I try to get as much information about the property as I possibly can. And then, of course, if I end up listing the property, those are the first people I call.
Hmm.
Because I tell you before, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a neighbor that buys it. In land, it's not the same thing with houses. But
Yeah.
I call all those neighbors, say, "Hey,
Oh yeah.
it's for sale.
Yeah,
I noticed you have
absolutely.
a box blind right on the fence. You want to buy it?" It's just fun to talk to people, anyways, and cut them up a little bit. But
Yeah.
But yeah, if an agent is truly doing their job, and they should be getting all the information about that property to pass it on to their buyers. I
Hmm.
mean, that's just the facts. If people don't get that information, they're not doing their job. Like that's just it. And if I have buyer clients that are looking at a farm, you betcha I'm going to be asking that listing agent,
Oh yeah.
what's the neighbors like? And if they don't have the information, I'm calling the neighbor.
Yeah.
I have to find out that information, especially if somebody's a really serious hunter.
Yeah.
They can't afford to purchase a $500,000 property just to have the neighbor hunting their fence line.
Right.
I would be doing them a disservice by
Hmm.
selling them a property that I know that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. which is what makes you a good agent. Taking that
Try.
extra, taking that extra step, doing your due diligence, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
you have to.
Yeah, yeah.
I think.
Have
Can't.
you ever? Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I can't say that everybody does that, but
No,
I
no,
yeah,
that is for certain. But yeah, I mean, if you care about your job, you care about the person you're supporting in buying and whatnot, like I feel in selling, I feel like it's just such a important piece, an
heck
important
yeah.
step. Yeah.
The best phone calls you can get are, "Hey Jen, I just killed my biggest buck ever!" Like first year hunting the farm, it's just like, yes, I
Yes.
played a small role in that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, have you ever walked a piece of land that looked not ideal on paper, but ended up being like a whitetail gold mine?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's. Remember I was saying earlier about pastures. They are sleepers. So I don't know if you saw this buck a couple years ago. He was found dead not too far from where I live, in Pottawatomie County, Kansas. Um, they were calling him the Kansas Combine because his width was the width of two cornrows. He was a gigantic deer.
Oh my God.
Um, yeah, he was just I got to go hold him actually, the head. It was something else. But this deer was found dead out in the middle of one of those fields, and it had like a drainage through it, but it was a big cattle pasture, like huge, like section, maybe even multiple sections. I think it was like 700 acres. Yeah, so it was multiple sections. Um, but he was out there. That's where he was found dead. And it was apparent that it was from a fight from another buck, because there was no like gunshot or
Hmm.
anything like that, which is so sad, but also great that he wasn't poached. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's where he was found out in the middle. Like it's these big bucks. I feel like what we think that deer would probably go into some thick brush to hide and get some good cover. These big bucks that are out here in Kansas, especially, we have a lot of prairie, or I live in the Flint Hills, so there's a lot less trees here. But I truly think that they can get out in the middle of these giant pastures and they can see so far that that's their protection.
Hmm.
They're constantly monitoring all the way around them, and if they get spooked, like they're out of there before you even saw them.
Right.
So I think, golly, yeah, that's one of the biggest things. Like you don't overlook those at
Yeah.
all. It's
Yeah.
pretty that has shocked me because I've we like to go shed hunting. We have quite the little shed collection, but
Uh-huh.
it's those fields on, especially if there's a nice south facing side, find some giant sheds out there. It's like, who would have thought? I wouldn't have.
What's the biggest disconnect that you see between how people think deer move versus how they actually move on land?
I don't know if it's necessarily a disconnect or just a ignorance of not wanting to study the deer on your property.
Hmm.
Um, just from living in southern Missouri to Kansas, like deer act different. I mean, they act the same too, but like they're different. I think a lot of people just think, "Oh, I'm deer hunting here and this is how I'm doing it, and it doesn't matter where I'm at. This is how
Hmm.
I'm doing it." You can't hunt deer like that
Hmm.
everywhere. You've got to study your property. You've got to look at the topography. You've got to. I'm so big on this. Study your moon phases. Study the sun position, the moon position, because the gravitational pulls, it's crazy. Like Dusty and I, oh gosh, when was it? I don't know. We really hit hard on that one deer season. I think it was maybe 2 seasons ago. We started doing that, and it's like clockwork. When that moon is pulling at its highest, it's crazy. It's like clockwork.
Do
What?
you do you have a specific app that you use for that?
I don't. No, I don't think I have that on here. I think. I'll get back
Yeah,
to you on
yeah, yeah.
that. But I mean, we obviously use Onyx, but we've used deer cast in the past, but no offense to the juries, but I have not found that to be very dependable
Mm,
on the rating that they get. But again, it's a tool.
yeah.
I feel like the app that we used was like some like boat navigation app for some reason.
Mm. Honestly, there
An
are,
offshore, an offshore app.
yeah, we are muskie fishermen, and there are apps like for muskies, which is the same moon phase, obviously,
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
it's all one moon phase. So, like, there's, yeah, like you said, like a fishing app that I'm sure out there that could probably help too.
I think it is a fishing app, if I remember right. But
Yeah,
yeah, the moon phase thing. But like I said, it kind of goes back to the ignorance thing and being lazy.
yeah,
Study your deer.
hmm, yeah,
Study your deer. That's the one thing I would definitely say is because every deer is going to use a property differently.
yeah.
I mean, no two properties are the same.
No, no, you can go out and you can have luck in the woods and shoot a deer, but if you want to shoot a big buck, you have to study all the things that you just mentioned, the moon phase, the wind, the topography, all of those things matter because like you said in the beginning, these deer they don't grow up dumb. They grow up because they're smart and they've seen things. They know how to stay safe. And you have to figure out. I loved what you said earlier too, and this is like what I've been doing as I've been preparing for the fall. Thinking like the deer. Stop thinking like a hunter. Think like the deer. How is that deer staying safe? You have to think like them. Put yourself in their shoes.
In their hooves.
Yeah, in their hooves.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's you just got to think differently. I don't know. And you know, we've gone back and forth on this whole deer hunting thing. Like, have we overcomplicated it? Like with the trail camera, the cell cameras, with the scent lock, with the sprays, with
Yeah.
all the things, and it's like, I mean, you look back at some pictures of like I don't even know. I'm trying to think of something like not in the recent past, but like the past. I don't know. Let's just say like the pictures of Jr., Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah.
with his luck. Like everybody's seen that picture around the internet. Do you think that man was? I mean, that guy probably had every advantage for him, but like he didn't have none of the stuff that we have now.
Mm-mm.
Killing big deer, like our grandpas hunting in red flannel, smoking a Marlboro Light,
Literally.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they always got it done. It's like
Hmm.
we overcomplicate, and like another thing that I'm guilty of, especially in my line of work, like I have taken business calls in the deer stand before, like I work 24/7. Like I don't have a day off. Like my
Uh-huh.
phone is always on. And it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
I relied a lot on my cell cameras in the last few years, and I'm like, you have to remember the cell camera is taking a picture of this much land.
Oh, yeah.
I have a little less than 200 acres. What else is going on behind the camera?
Yeah.
Like you can't rely on the camera
A
to
100%.
solely decide when it is you go hunting. I have a good friend. His name's Clayton Coyle. I don't know if you know him or not. He lives in the Kansas City area, but the man shoots 180 plus inch deer every year. Every single year he kills. I mean, he's killed giant 200-inch deer. This man watches deer year round. He is obsessed, but he's also a good friend of mine, so I'm able to pick his brain about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And he was hunting this particular deer in a small tract of land, and he couldn't get this deer on camera. He's got like one picture of him, or maybe it was a buddy or something. I don't know. He's had like very minimal pictures of him. So he's like, he knows where he lives, but he can't get pictures of him. So one day, I think he said he had 3 cameras set up on this like 10-acre area. He said, one day I went out to the neighboring patch of woods and just sat against a tree and like glassed that patch of woods to see what the heck was going on and why I wasn't getting any pictures of this deer. He said, I kid you not, that deer went around every single one of my cameras.
Mhm.
I'm like, if you wouldn't have gone out there and seen that with your own two eyes, you wouldn't have gone out hunting. You would have thought he got poached or somebody killed him or, my chance at him's gone. Like, the fact is, those deer are there and they're smart. And I'm not saying every single one of them misses the camera, but I bet you they miss him more than we realize they do. They
Mhm.
get around them. Yeah, so it's like, have we overcomplicated it? I think
Yeah.
the answer is yes.
Yeah. I
Into
think
more people recently that are like, I don't do cameras anymore because it dictates too much on when I go hunting or not. Like, instead of relying on the weather, relying on the pressure, relying on the moon phases, when all of your things are lined up, that's when you should be in the woods. It's like,
mhm.
you're so right.
Yeah. It
So
is. It's so true. It's so true. I actually last year hunted a food plot and I remember my dad saying, like, I was like, oh, I have this buck on the plot right now, and he's like, oh, I didn't see him on the camera, and I'm like, yeah, dad, because he's on the other side of the food plot where we don't have a camera. Like they're not all coming right from, and maybe that's an old way of thinking too, but like I watched all these deer come from every area besides where the camera was last year. Like there are so many deer that we're not getting on camera that we just have no idea about and you don't see unless you're out there putting the time in.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
100% true. So yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
cameras are a tool, but they don't tell the whole story.
Yeah.
I actually have I don't know if it's a question, but I had something I wanted to bring up with you too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed you were at the First Form Summer Smash.
Oh, I was. Were you there?
No, I was not. But
Oh,
in a previous life, golly, 10 years ago now, I used to do figure competitions, bodybuilding. Uh-huh.
lovely.
So yeah, yeah. If you go way back in my Instagram, you'll find I used to be pretty jacked, and then I became a mom. But
And your time is limited.
limited, and that's a lot of work. But anyways, yes, I used to be a gym rat, bodybuilder, loved all that stuff, but it was back when First Form was a lot smaller than they
Yeah.
are now. They're huge now, which is great. But they started in Springfield, Missouri, which is where I'm from.
Uh-huh.
They had two, I'm sure if you've listened to Andy Frisella for any period of time, you know his story, living in the back of his supplement superstore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the supplement superstore that I used to go shopping in. Um, but I used to be really involved with First Form and that whole community and stuff. And I had gone to oh gosh, so we were having a conference up at the First Form HQ, the old one
Yeah.
before the new. I've not been to the new one,
Yeah.
but the first one up there in St. Louis, and we're at it was a pretty small thing. I think there was like only like 50 of us there. It wasn't like a very big thing, but I had a chance to chat with Andy. Oh gosh, I was like, man, you guys are missing an entire market of outdoorsmen. Like, you guys are in the Midwest. And this was about the time that mountain ops had just got started. And like
Mhm.
I'm a very brand loyal person. I was like, I'm not switching to mountain ops. Like,
Yeah.
I use Perform products. But I was like, you guys are missing an entire market. You are here in the Midwest. Like, y'all need like what did I tell him? I told him, I was like, you guys need like protein packets and like hydration stuff, but like make the wrappers quiet so that when
Yeah.
you get them in your water and you won't hear like the crinkle crinkle. Oh gosh, what did I don't know. I had a great conversation with him about doing stuff in the outdoors, and it was just really fun. And then like I don't know, it's just really cool to see First Form actually in the outdoors now. And I'm
Yeah.
not anything to do with that, but like it was just it's been really cool to see the transformation and the growth, the exponential growth of First Form, especially into the outdoor space because they're right where they need to be.
Oh
I
yeah.
love it. It's so neat to see, and I've always loved First Form products. And
Yeah.
Andy's great. His brother Sal's awesome, and it
Yeah.
was cool. But when I saw you there, I was like, oh,
Yes, no, it was so fun. I think that if you have any interest in like fitness at all, what a space to be in, and like what just that entire weekend, it was just working out and protein shakes and energy drinks and just like what a vibe. I could do that every weekend. I was
oh
like
yeah,
enthralled with how fun it was. But yeah, I mean, the company is easy to stand behind. They make good products. You see results when you use them properly. I just am very much a diehard First Form girl. I absolutely love everything. And I wish I would have gotten a chance to see Andy. He was around, but there are so many people there. It's not 50 people
it's quite the
anymore.
event.
Yeah, yeah. It is a big event now. So I didn't get a chance to like see him or anything, but
Oh yeah, no, he's awesome, and Emily's great too. I think I have
yeah.
one of actually. I have one of her very first cookbook she ever came with, but I have one of her paper and plan
Oh, yes.
planners, in the
Mhm.
camo, right, of course.
Of course. Of
But
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm a big. I'll support First Form
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because I don't know, connection to it. And like I said, the company is great. I still talk to a lot of the like Will. I talk
Yeah.
to Will a lot, and golly.
Yeah.
Oh, just made a lot of good friends up there throughout the years, especially with the background.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Absolutely. And because like it's so easy to have conversations with the people from headquarters specifically, and really any of the community that's involved outside of headquarters, because we all are working towards the same mission of like making people feel better about themselves and like whatnot. But like you said, the outdoors, that's like newer, the outdoors
It
team that
is.
they're like slowly growing. And Jake Arvold like does
Aw.
such a good, yeah, he runs the space of the outdoors for First Form. He's amazing. All the people like Kaylee, Preston, there's so many people who work with like the outdoors team, and it's so fun. It's so fun. So fun. We took like a couple pictures when we were at headquarters and whatnot with like the group of people who are kind of a part of the outdoors group, and it's just so fun to see everyone,
Yeah.
all the different people, like all the different things, like between fishing and hunting and what are you hunting and the spaces that we all live in across the United States. It's so cool. You
Yeah.
got to find that community and then just continue to like grow your space too. And you're
Yeah.
unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah. It's neat. So I was really
Yeah.
excited when I saw you
Yeah.
there. I was like,
I
I have to
love
ask you
that.
about
I love the
that. Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun. Okay. So a couple more questions for you. What
Yeah.
role does bedding versus food? You kind of already talked about this a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm like interrupting myself here, but what role does bedding versus food versus the travel corridors play in your personal decision making when evaluating land to hunt?
This was one thing that I've learned since moving to Kansas. You know, being in Missouri, it's not a bait state. You're not allowed to feed
Hmm.
deer in Missouri. So I don't know why and I'm guilty of this too. When I lived in Missouri, I always was so jealous of other states that got to hunt over bait. And I'm like, oh, it's almost cheating. Well, fast forward to me living in Kansas, it's not as simple as putting out a pile of corn and killing a deer. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Um, Not that I do that. I don't do that. But what I will tell you is what I have learned. The best way to hunt a food source is the travel route that the deer take to get to the
Mm,
food source, and that'll do a couple things for you. One, it'll cause you to not have to stay in your deer stand until it's pitch black outside because the deer, let's just say you're hunting a travel corridor on the way to a feeder. Deer's gonna sit that feeder for a long time. If you're hunting over a feeder, you're not gonna be able to get out of the tree until that deer leaves that feeder because you'll spook it.
mm,
So if you hunt the travel route to the feeder, or the cornfield or whatever, the food source, um, you are able to set your setup accordingly, hopefully get that broadside shot and be able to leave if nothing happens or if, your deer doesn't show up, you can get down and head back without spooking any deer because those deer, if you get spooked or if you surprise a deer, spook one, they're gonna pin you like every time. So I think that's something that I've learned since being in Kansas. It's not necessarily hunting a food source, it's hunting the route to the food source.
Hmm.
Bedding areas, golly. Again, it's kind of the opposite of the food source. You know that they're going to be coming from the bedding area and then returning to the bedding area. So again, I would find that route between the two, between the food and the bedding. And that's where I would want to set up shop.
Hmm.
Because like you can't go set up a stand right over a bedding area because you'll spook them. Let's say in the morning time, you go climb up your stand, those deer's got you pinned.
Right.
You can do that. Um, what was the other one? It was food, bedding, and there was another one that you said something.
Uh,
It was travel corridors. Yeah,
yeah.
you that's travel corridors are my favorite thing to hunt. The deer aren't expecting you to be there. They're
Right.
expecting to be around water, food, or bedding.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I would say. Pinch points, travel corridors, find those things.
Hmm. What's your go-to bow hunting setup? Are you doing like a hang-on? Are you doing a mobile setup, fixed stand?
Oh gosh, depends on the weather. um, there is nothing better than sitting in a tree and hang on. In my opinion, there's just nothing better. Like you can hear the world wake up. You have a 360 view. You can hear 360 degrees around. That's probably my favorite when the weather's optimal for that. You have a good wind and everything. The fact is, when you have camera equipment and a 5-year-old with you, you are probably better off in a box blind. So, been doing a lot of that recently since becoming a mom. I don't regret it at all. Like, I'd rather have my kid with me any day of the week.
Hmm.
I've had a lot of success out of box blinds.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome, but they do hinder your hearing. They hinder your ability to see.
Hmm.
Definitely have to have your shooting lanes ready to go. You gotta be able to make sure you don't spook deer getting out of them because you can't see behind you.
Hmm.
A lot of times, like we have ours box blinds like tucked up into some cedar trees, so we really can't see around us except for like where we have our shooting lane right in
Hmm.
front. Of course, them box blinds are great when it's snowing
Yeah.
or bad weather. Out here, it could be a lot. I have only hunted whitetail on my own property, except for this last year. I got to go on an all girls hunt at Buck Chasers in Illinois. That was my first time ever hunting deer not on my property. So it was real weird. It was awesome getting like driven to my tree stand. Like, oh, you're gonna hunt here tonight. I'm like, I've never seen this stand before,
Yeah.
it was real weird. It was awesome. Felt like a princess. It was
Yeah.
great.
Right.
Highly suggest doing the outfitter whitetail hunt at least once in your life. But I did not kill one, by the way.
Oh,
But
dang it.
I know. But yeah, it just depends. I
Yeah.
mean, camera equipment's tough. I mean, there's all kinds of tree. I mean, we have like some fourth arrow arms and stuff, and they're
Hmm.
awesome for
Yeah.
trees. It's kind of hard to self-film doing that. I mean, I do a lot of self-filming, so it's the box blind has been my go-to recently. Just I can bring my laptop out there and take calls, and I will tell you, we have a couple of different box blinds, and I think my favorite one so far, and I'm not sponsored by any box blind companies, so this
Yeah.
is unbiased. I love my Banks box blinds. stump, I think it is. But
Uh-huh.
the thing is quiet. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of room in there. Like I said, I had a full-on work conversation. I mean, I wasn't yelling, but I wasn't whispering either. In that box blind, I had deer 10 yards in front of this box blind that had no idea I was there.
Yeah.
Like, sold.
And they're warm too. We have a handful of them on our property too, and they're so nice.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're awesome.
They're worth
So
worth the money.
they are. They truly are. It's worth it to purchase a quality box blind. They're
Yeah.
not all built the same.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What bow are you shooting?
Oh man. So I am sponsored by Bowtech. So
Okay.
but I've been shooting Bowtechs since 2011, I believe. And my
Ooh.
first bow I ever bought was a blackout. So it was a Bass Pro, but at the time blackouts were being made by Diamond, so it was a Bowtech. Um but yeah, I my favorite bow right now, and I have shot it so consistently well over the last couple of years, is the Bowtech Virtue. It's not their brand new bow. Their new bow is the Alliance, which is awesome as well. Um, I prefer the Virtue a bit more. It's got a magnesium alloy riser, so it's lighter and it's a little bit taller. So the axle, I just feel like it sits in my hand a lot more steady. The thing is like butter to pull back. I have never pulled back a bow that I was like, whoa, that's easy. Because I tried it out at ATA a few years ago when they launched it, and I knew immediately that I needed to have that bow just because the draw cycle was insane.
Hmm.
Um, I'm what else about it? I had a Garmin Zero sight. I used that for a really long time and I loved it. I had a little snafu with it, and that was just because I didn't know how to use it properly.
Mm.
It's you hit the range button and it ranges the deer, whatever it is you're shooting, bear, whatever, and it moves the pin accordingly. It's a pretty cool. I don't know if you've ever shot an electronic sight, but it's pretty neat.
No, that's sick.
It is, but not all states allow it, so you kind of have to look
Oh,
and
sure.
see if your states allow it. And also, like, I don't think if you were to shoot like a 3D archery course, like for competition, I don't think they're allowed either.
Mm.
So yeah, just kind of have to look at the rules. But the Garmin Zero Sight is amazing. Um, I had a snafu with it, though. I didn't realize that if you hit the range button twice, it pulls up some set pins. So like it would just look like your regular like 5 pin setup.
Yeah.
But I had a 170-inch deer in front of me and I was shaking like a leaf. And I was hitting that range button, you know, and I ended up hitting it more than once. I didn't realize it. And it pulled up a set pin that I didn't have set. And I shot the arrow and it went straight over his back. This deer was 20 yards in front of me. It should have been and he was broadside, beautiful. I have the footage. It would have been chef's
Ugh.
kiss. Arrow goes right over his back, like with like 3 inches to spare. And my husband just looks at me like,
How did you manage
how
that?
did you mess that up? I was like, I don't know what just happened. But of course I'm just pissed,
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
crying through my bow. I was so mad. But yeah, it had pulled up some set pins that I didn't know it had, didn't know it was a capability. Of course, found that out later, found out the hard way. Um, so yeah, if you're gonna get one of those, know how to use it, right?
Yeah.
Um, I'm actually using a dual pin setup right now. So it's a black gold, and it works like a single pin. So you can adjust it, dial it down to whatever your yardage is, but it also has a secondary pin. And I have it set up with a 10-yard increment. So like if I move one pin up to 10 yards, the second one's already at 20
Mm.
or 5. 20 to 30, whatever it is. It's kind of nice to be able to move it. Or if the deer's at 21 yards, I know that my second pin's at 31.
Right.
It's kind of nice because when you're hunting out of a stand, I'm not sure how good this would work for like Western hunting, but which I've never done, so I'm not even gonna profess to know what that's like. But it works out really good when you're hunting out of a stand because you're stationary. You
Sure.
know that bush is 18 yards
Hmm.
and that stick is at 23. You know what I mean? So like where all of your points are. So you should be able to set that thing exactly where you need it and you can have
Right.
two reference.
Right.
So I really like that. It's the dual track um two pin, I believe is what it is. But I really like that sight a lot just because I can make it exactly the yardage that I want it to be. The hand release or thumb release, I was having a lot of issues with target panic a few years ago, and I say a few years ago, it's probably been like 5 years ago, and it was crazy how bad it was. Like it didn't matter where I was in my draw cycle, wham, I just hit that trigger. Like as soon as I get pulled back, wham, it's like I don't know, like it would make me cry. Like
Uh-huh.
it was so stressful. So yeah, we took the sight off my bow. I just shot at a hay bale, like at 10 yards and didn't aim. I just shot with my eyes shut, just bam, bam, bam. Yeah, went to the bow shop and I was like, guys, I need help. Guys at Midwest Archery in Springfield, Missouri, awesome dudes, know their stuff. Um, they're like, try a different release, just try something different. So you have to reteach yourself, and that's what I ended up doing
Hmm.
is switching to a thumb. I shoot it so much better. Do I still punch the trigger? Yes, but it's not out of panic like it was before. It's definitely controlled,
Yeah.
but I found that to be a lot better option for me, especially with like anchor points and whatnot. That's what I prefer to shoot.
Hmm. I feel the same way about the thumb release. Like I
Mhm.
was using the wrist and I felt like every time it just was different based on like I know people are going to think this is crazy, but even if I had it in the same hole of where it was like fastened, I always felt like it might like sit different on my wrist, it might pull different. It was like, I don't know. I hated it. It also gave me like some panic, so I switched to the thumb release and I feel like I punch the trigger less because I you almost have to make it more smooth. Yeah, I don't know. All of the above.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool. I feel like it has a lot to do like with the wrist release. Like like you were saying, like it doesn't matter if you buckled it in the same exact spot. Like how much water are you carrying today? Like
Yeah.
it's gonna pull. Like how cold is it? Like I don't know. My weight fluctuates like 10 pounds
Yeah.
throughout the entire just with hormones. So it's like of course it's gonna sit different. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It just I don't know. The
Hmm.
hand release, thumb release, that's my go-to.
Hmm. Mine too.
Yeah, good.
Okay, what is one piece of advice that you wish every new land buyer understood before they signed a contract?
Man, be prepared for one of the greatest adventures of your life. It's a lot of work for one. Yeah. I mean, I keep going back to like our acreage. Like there is always a laundry list of chores that we need to get done.
Hmm.
Always. It's a lot of work to be a landowner. It is. I mean, especially if you want to take good care of your land. That's just the facts. You don't want to, if it's deer season, don't be out on your property unless you have to be.
Hmm.
A lot of people just think, oh, I took off work this week. I'm going hunting every day. I'm like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. But one piece of advice: don't call me if you mess up on your deer hunt. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, 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 no. I'd just say like share your blessings with your friends and family and like enjoy it because not too many people get to have the land that you
Mm-hmm.
have. Like
Mm-hmm.
your little slice of earth is there's no other place like it. Yours is yours and it's really special and so many people wish they could have it. I don't care if it's 5 acres, I don't care if it's 1 acre or 5,000 acres. Like it's your little slice of the earth to steward and that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take it for granted. Enjoy the blessing that it is. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
I'd say just have a grateful heart for the ability and the blessing to be able to be a landowner.
Mic drop.
Done.
Okay, the last big question I have for you is we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier that a big buck can be killed on 10 acres. Do
Yeah.
you think when someone comes to you and is like, find me 200 plus acres, find me a 500 acre, like I need all this land to like manage these deer and all that. Do you ever have that conversation of, or do you even think like that's not necessary? Like you don't need the 500 acres to do. I mean, it's different if their goal is to manage that property and build those food plots and, whatever. But if there's just someone saying, I feel like I need all of this land to be able to be productive in the woods, what would you tell them?
Like I said, it kind of just depends on their goal. And like you said, the goal is to kill a 200-inch deer, or a giant deer, is I think is what you said. Um, it's not always necessary, but it will definitely put you at an advantage to have more acres.
Hmm.
But it depends on the quality of those acres. I know a gentleman that had, I think he had 200 and no, it was a section, so it was 320 acres. He had 320 acres, and most of it was woods. That wasn't enough for him because he didn't want people hunting his fence line. So what he did is he leased up everything around him. So I don't think he didn't buy everything around
Hmm.
him because that would just expand his fence line that much
Right.
further. He leased it so that he knew that nobody had the hunting rights to hunt his perimeter. And I thought that was kind of smart if you have the money to do that. But he was absolutely obsessed about not having anybody hunt his fence line. And I mean, we have the issue with people that are shooting deer that we thought are up and comers and like should not have been shot on our property. And, we don't have near that amount of acres. But the fact is, it doesn't matter how many acres you have, you're always going to have neighbors. And like, I think the drawback on having, let's say, 5,000 acres, you're going to have, if people are going to poach, they're going to access your property, they're going to trespass, and you're never going to know about it because 5,000 acres is a lot of acres. You
Hmm.
can't, I mean, I guess you can keep an eye on all of it if you have cameras everywhere and unlimited funds, but you know, it doesn't matter. Like 5,000 acres or 5 acres, you have no idea what your neighbors are doing. And the only thing I would say is, you can have conversations with your neighbor because I've heard a lot of people are like, oh, well, if I don't shoot it, the neighbor will. Okay, that's great. But now you guys are both shooting 3.5-year-old deer, and they're never going to be a 5.5-year-old deer because you're
Hmm.
killing them before they reach maturity.
Hmm.
But if you can have a conversation with your neighbor, I mean, you know that they're getting the same deer on their trail cameras as you're getting on yours because they travel.
Hmm.
You can say, hey, I know you guys probably have pictures of this deer. Like, have you seen this deer? And like, have a conversation with them. Like, hey, like, we're gonna let this one walk. Like, what's your guys' plan? I mean, you're kind of taking a gamble at seeing like what their plans are because, like I said, everybody hunts differently. Everybody has different goals. But let's just say, oh well, I was thinking about having my nephew come up and hunt our property. okay, cool. Now I know this deer is probably getting shot.
Yeah, yeah.
In- Instead of being upset about it later, you're having the conversation on the front end like, hey, maybe his nephew, this is his first deer he's ever shot. That 3.5-year-old deer is going to be fantastic for him. Great. You can be happy about it before it even happens rather than pissed off and not knowing about it later, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So having the conversation with your neighbors beforehand, I think, is a positive thing. I think we're at the point now where we've talked to all of our neighbors, and I think we're all kind of on a similar uh, state of mind on what we're letting walk and what we're going to be taking. So that's been really nice. Like this last year was one of the stressless deer seasons we've had because we felt like we were all kind of on the same page as far as
Yeah.
what a mature deer was and what our all of our goals were. Because the fact is, if somebody hunts and kills a 200-inch deer, I mean, there's only going to be one of them.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, really, you all kind of want to be on the same page. Like, let's grow more of those. You
Right?
know, like, let's do this together, guys. Like, let's let some of these walk that have some cool genetics. And it's neat. It forms a sense of community. And then, during deer season, you're getting text messages like, "Hey, I saw this one. Hey, I saw that one. Hey, I saw this." And you learn a lot more too. Like, oh, I didn't know that deer traveled over there. I wouldn't
Hmm.
have thought that. Sure enough, that's where they are. So I don't know. Knowledge is power. You get more with sugar than you do with salt when it comes with neighbors. If you have good neighbors. Not saying that that's always the case,
Yeah,
but
yeah. But it doesn't hurt to try, have the conversation, and that's all you can do,
all you can do. I mean, at the very least, you might make a new friend.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feed a cup of sugar at night and you live in the sticks like I do.
I love it. Okay, those are like the main questions. But now, Jen, part of the podcast is I ask you some fun questions to get to know you a little bit better. So I want to know, are you an early season hunter or a rut hunter? Maybe you're both, but what do you prefer?
Oh man, depends on the deer I'm hunting. Um, I don't. Do you know who Bill Winky is?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, Bill Winky had a whitetail show, and I feel like he was one of the first dudes that ever did that. He's probably like one of the only people I know that do this, but he will pick out a deer, one deer, and he
Hmm.
will spend all deer season hunting one deer.
Hmm.
He used to make an entire show hunting one deer, and he didn't always get it.
Yeah.
And my husband and I loved that so much. So like that's kind of our stance. We hunt Bill Winky style.
Mm.
Highly recommend checking him out. He's awesome. But it depends on the deer. Sometimes I have a deer that I'm hunting and he shows up early season. Well, you bet your butt that's when I'm going to be hunting him. And then they disappear in the rut. Um, this last year, I was hunting a deer that I knew showed up around Halloween. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Only he showed up 3 hours early and I wasn't ready. And I'm this chance at him. But yeah, but the fact is it just depends on the deer. I
Yeah.
mean, we have another deer. We call him well, we let my child name all of our deer. We let my child name the deer that we're hunting. Like if they're big enough to get a name, Finn gets to name them. But
Oh.
this deer's name is Sammy, and Sammy always shows up late season. Um, that's just the facts. Like, if you're gonna hunt Sammy, you gotta wait till late season to hunt him. Um, you always run the risk of him not showing up, obviously, but if you are watching your deer and patterning in them, I mean, that's what he's done the last 3 seasons. Showed up late. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that's my answer. It
Yeah.
depends on the. because I pick one deer and that's the deer that I hunt.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite snack in the woods?
Favorite snack. Good Lord. You know, it depends. Deer hunting, it's probably just gonna be raw almonds. I hate to be like that is so bland and lame, but it really is. I love raw almonds. They don't have a scent to them. They're I guess they are kind of crunchy, but they're not like a chip crunchy.
Right, right. They're
Um,
quiet crunchy.
yeah, they're quite crunchy. Yeah, I like those. Um, Waterfowl, I'm all about the cosmic brownies. Yeah. Um, if I'm offshore fishing, it's like a you have to have a butterfinger. It's like a superstition thing with us.
Oh,
Like and we learned that from a guy down in Florida years ago. He got us turned on to the good luck butterfinger thing. Um, Golly, I feel like I do something during turkey season. I can't think of what it is right now. But yeah, it depends on the season.
yeah, yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah.
Um, are you a texter or a phone call girl?
Oh gosh. I'm on the phone all day, every day
Yeah,
with my line of work.
yeah.
So I, oh gosh, I'm probably a texter, like just socially,
Hmm.
just because I'm like, I'm just gonna shoot this text to this person and they can respond to me whenever it's convenient for them.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is literally why I do. It's not because I don't want to talk to people. I mean, I kind of don't just because I've met my word limit for the day by
Yeah,
like clock every day.
that is understandable.
Um uh but yeah, I'm probably a texter and I'm definitely an Instagrammer. I don't know how people manage Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
TikTok. Oh my gosh. I don't know either.
That might just be my age too, but
I'm exhausted. No, it's the millennial in us. I'm just exhausted thinking about all of it. Also, my ADHD can't keep up. Like, where are we posting? What are we doing?
yeah, I can't do it.
No.
Yeah.
Sweatpants or jeans?
Oh, sweatpants.
What kind of question is that?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this was such a. Actually, it wasn't a Instagram ad. I was at deer camp, the same Illinois deer camp that I was talking about,
Oh,
and
sorry.
it was an all girls deal, and a few of them had these camouflage pants, and they were a brand called Comfort,
Oh yeah.
COMFRT. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen ads for them now.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I had never seen them until October of last year, and like I said, three or four of them had like the matching sets, and I was like, "What is this?" Anyways, I ordered me a pair, and I was like, "Oh, I get it." And now my kid has them, and my husband has them, and the grandparents have them, and I got everybody outfitted. I love
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great brand, honestly. I feel like it kind of blew up too out of nowhere, I feel like.
Oh, they nailed their social media
Yeah.
campaigns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you a cook at home or eat out kind of girl?
I like to cook at home. Yeah,
Mhm.
I do. I do like to go out too, but man, I am out and about all day, driving around in my truck, and probably eat too much Chick-fil-A in my life just because I'm out driving around looking at properties or taking clients to see properties, and it's like, yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
I just like to be at home and eat some game, something fresh, something good. Yeah,
Not chicken for just a minute.
yeah.
I feel like you know what's so funny is I we eat so much game meat here that like when I do go out, I often get like chicken for some reason. Now that
Again,
I'm thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, I'm always chicken strips or chicken
uh-huh,
sandwich or whatever it might be.
uh-huh. I'm the same. I hate preparing raw chicken.
Oh
I
yeah.
just I can't do it. I mean, I do it, but like, oh, the thought of raw chicken is just gross. So
Yeah.
I would much rather get that going out. Yeah.
Yeah. Cooked, already cooked by the time it's in your hands.
I don't have to touch it. I don't have to mess with it.
Okay, final question, Jen. What is the best advice that you've ever received?
The best advice that I've ever received. Oh my gosh. I feel like I have so much of that all day, every day. Oh gosh. Good Lord. There's so many things.
Hmm.
Advice.
What's something recent that you've learned? Or, I mean, I guess advice you've been given.
So, most recently, like, do you know the definition of stoic? Stoic, Stoic, stoic,
Oh,
stoic.
stoic? Yeah, like when someone is stoic. I mean, I feel
Mhm.
like I know the definition, right? Like you're poised. I feel like I'm
Uh-huh.
just giving more like adjective words to
Yeah,
describe this. But what
describe it.
what's
Yeah.
the official definition?
So I find that I get very stressed out about things. I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I'm
Uh-huh.
definitely particular about things. And in real estate, things can get kind of messy sometimes. That's just the facts. Doing things out of order or whatever it is. And juggling everything. And there's so many things that happen that are out of my control. And my husband was like, Jen, you need to learn to be more stoic. And I was like, I feel like I know what that means, but like I don't know what that means. He's like, you can only control the things that you can control, and everything else you don't need to stress about.
Huh.
I'm like, I mean, I feel like duh, but like how many times has somebody actually stopped you and said, "Hey, practice being stoic"?
Also,
Yeah.
tell a woman to control only the things that she can control. I can control everything.
Right?
Everything in my path.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not necessarily that like I'm a control freak or anything like that, but like I said, I'm particular about things and I like things to go smoothly and
Right.
neatly, and I like to know what's going on with all of it, especially with like my real estate deals. Like
Right.
I like to know everything.
Right.
Um,
But some things are out of your hands, like out of
a
your
lot of
control.
things
Yeah.
like inspection reports
Right.
out of my hands.
Yeah.
Uh, Dealing with nasty people out of my hands. Like there's no reason to like stress, lose sleep, be in a bad mood. Like there's no reason for it if you just don't let those things bother you. If it's out of
Hmm.
your control, don't let it bother you.
Yeah.
Man, it's so much easier said than done.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the facts. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is. I mean, it goes back kind of to everything. Like people compare them. So comparison is the thief of all joy. Like
Hmm.
you can't control it. Don't let it bother you. Like
Right. Well, it's great advice.
it is, but it seems like such a duh thing.
Right.
But really, like just get back to the basics and like, yeah, it's really good advice.
Hmm.
Really good. I mean, our world is so like we have too much information. We're constantly getting flooded with information, things that we don't need to know.
Hmm.
I mean, most of the stuff on the internet is things that are not pertinent information we don't need to know, yet we're engrossed with constantly having all this information in front of us all the time and like flicking through it so fast, 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 fast. It's like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Hmm.
Stressing ourselves out over things that don't affect us and never will affect us. But we're
Hmm.
stressed out about it. It's like, gosh, control the things that you can control.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of that is how much you are consuming on your phone.
Yeah. Right.
It really
Which
is.
we could all use less of. Absolutely.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I feel, I mean, I do social media stuff for Bass Pro and Bowtech and a few other brands, and I love that. And like, sometimes I get overwhelmed with like thinking about like my obligations that I need to fill, which I mean, I love doing it,
Yeah.
but it's like in order for me to do a genuinely good job
Hmm.
at those things, I need to make genuinely good content.
Yeah.
That doesn't require me to sit on TikTok and see what the latest trend is so I can make something just like it. That's just going to stress me out. It's not real. It's chasing likes, it's chasing attention, and like, I don't need that.
Right.
You know? I'm going to create some content like putting in food plots because really, that's what I'm doing, you
Right.
know?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just stuff like that. Control what you can control and don't worry about the rest.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
Great advice.
Stoic.
Stoic. Stoic. I'm gonna live by
Yeah.
that now.
Yeah. I don't
Mhm.
know. It's good.
Oh my gosh. Well, Jen, I took up so much of your time. You gave us so many great takeaways, I feel like, and I am so appreciative of you joining me today.
I'm appreciative, and gosh, like I said, thanks for working with my schedule.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Easy. Easy to flex. Totally. Well, where can people find you?
um, I mean, I am in my truck, so wherever. No, I social media wise, Instagram's probably the best way to find me.
Mhm.
Jenn underscore Yarbrough underscore outdoors. Um, I That's a great place there. I do some on Facebook, and I haven't put out a YouTube video in a while, but I need to do a little bit of that. I need getting ready for deer season. I need to put together some stuff, but
Yeah.
Instagram's probably the best place.
Fun. What are you just Jen Yarbrough on YouTube too?
Jenn Yarbrough Outdoors.
Outdoors? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Love
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This was fun.
Yeah, I hope you have a really good whitetail season this year.
You too. I hope everybody does. Hope
Yeah.
everybody has a big one. A wall
Yeah.
hanger.
No kidding. Good on everyone. Well, thank you, Jen, and everyone else. We will catch you next time.